Welcome everyone to Grand Finals here of Gen Challenge number 30 here for our mid-season showdown in Sacramento Place at Topeka Riviera, California. I am Jesus Cornell. This is Maridon. We finally are at the Grand Finals, ladies and gentlemen. And we are here to see Bryce Ong versus Abigail Watson here. Bryce gonna once again be with the team with Furirat, Amoongus, Raging Bolt, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Calyrex Ice Rider, and Incineroar, while Abigail's gonna have the Zamazenta, Rillaboom, Gastrodon, Chi-Yu, Whimsicott, and Golden Go. Out of the mirror match they played already, Abigail was the one that actually won that scenario, and now it's up to her to potentially get revenge from an earlier time. She would have been able to win a tournament. Last time she was here, she fell to the wrath of Zhongzi Zhu. And now that Zhongzi's not in the equation, Bryce Ong could potentially win their first gym challenge here as well. So we will have a first-time winner coming out of this tournament. The question is just who's going to come out on top? Here we go, grand finals between Bryce and Abigail. And what we're going to see here from Bryce's perspective, we will be seeing right now. Game number one, Abigail going to lead Zamazenta and Gastrodon. And for Bryce, it's going to be Amoongus and Calyrex. So we see the Trick Room mode come out once again from Bryce. We're going to see the Dauntless Shield give Zamazenta a big defense boost against that Zamazenta. Against the Calyrex, excuse me. But Amoongus could easily just Spore it. Meaning, is the Terra Grass forced here? Conversely, this Gastrodon does kind of have a free turn to go for Yawn as well as okay. No Spore comes out from, no Terra Grass comes out from the Zamazenta here. We're going to see the Iron Defense instead, getting it to +3 defense. Gastrodon kind of has a free turn to do what it wants. We see Glacial Lance come out into both of these Pokemon, doing half damage to that Gastrodon. So it is just going to get that Yawn off. Important to note, Gastrodon has a Citrus Ray, but because of a nerf, it can't be used. And Spore goes on to the Zamazenta. And in this scenario, the problem just becomes, well, what do you do here? Because you have your Uproar, which I think will be your best answer into this, the sleep, the Yawn that Calyrex is about to suffer through. But if you do that, you give the Zamazenta time to at least recuperate from that sleep. And also, potentially, you could just grant Zamazenta the wake up that it probably wants. Actually, not going to protect you to make sure the Yawn goes off. So Uproar is going to have to be the play right now from this Furigraph. We know it's slower than the Calyrex, but the better question I have asking is, well, what happens if Zamazenta wakes up because of the Uproar? Because if it does, it kind of has a free turn to go for that body press onto that Calyrex, and although it's very bulky, I wouldn't think it takes so much damage. And here we go with the Yawn play onto this Gastrodon into these Furigraph, and it will just be able to go for the Psychic. Okay, I thought Uproar was coming out, so Calyrex will take that guaranteed turn of sleep. Zamazenta takes a decent amount of damage. Calyrex will take his first turn of sleep. Can Zamazenta wake up this turn? No, it cannot. Yeah, here comes Uproar coming out from this Furigraph, which will wake up the Calyrex from the scenario, but I'm wondering if this wakes up Zamazenta here. Earth Power comes out into this Furigraph, not doing a whole lot of damage here. And we're going to see the Uproar do land on the Gastrodon. Not enough for the knockout, but it will grant that Calyrex the wake-up turn it needs, but it also just wakes up the Zamazenta, so with the Glacial Lance swimming here on the Gastrodon, I guess we're going to have to find out. As we do see the critical hit there onto the Zamazenta. I figured it was such. Chilling Nay gonna give Calyrex that much needed attack boost against the Zamazenta. Here comes the body press, a +3 defense. Not enough for the one-hit knockout quite yet. I had to wonder what's in the back for Abigail, because you can't go for priority moves if you're bringing out this Rillaboom, because Furigraph has Aura Tail, meaning you can't go for Fake Out, you can't go for Grassy Glide. The Zamazenta might be in range of a combination of Psychic with high horsepower. I think there's also 2 turns left to 3 turns. I started 3 turns or 2 turns left to Trick Room because Tower's not set that turn 1, so just comes down to whether or not Abigail's able to play out this turn correctly, because if she doesn't, we might be in a bit of trouble. Okay. Yeah, this is a tough position for Abigail, because do you protect? Do you risk the Glacial Lance with the Terra? Or do you just want to risk your Zamazenta going down? Because I think the play might be going Terra Fire on the Relevant and protecting the Zamazenta to make sure you get the least damage taken. But that could just be high horsepower bait. It will be Terra Fire into the Rillaboom. So this Rillaboom's going to hit the Terra Fire button, and we're going to be able to see this Calyrex go for a protect here, actually. This does give the Zamazenta some free turns to get back some HP recovery as the Uproar comes out onto this Rillaboom. Not doing a whole lot of damage. Here comes the Wood Hammer. It's enough to knock it out. So the Zamazenta, if this goes for the Iron Defense, it'll be great for Abby. Recoil damage taken from this Rillaboom, and it will be another body press, unfortunately. So we're just going to get some HP recovery back on the Zamazenta and the Calyrex and the Rillaboom in order of Calyrex, Rillaboom, and Zamazenta. And I wonder what Bryce brings in here, because you only have 1 turn left to Trick Room here. You know the Zamazenta can just protect in the scenario to get out of the Trick Room. Rillaboom can get put to sleep too, now that it's a fire type and no longer that grass type that it's possessing. And this could just be a interesting scenario for this Zamazenta. As we're going to see Bryce go for their Terra on what looks to be the Calyrex with a fire typing, just to make sure. Actually, why are I gotta wonder what Terra Fire comes out here. I think. Anyway, let's just forget the thinking here and just see the Zamazenta go for the Protector to make sure it doesn't get spored here. But I think it's more than likely Rillaboom gets spored here. Yeah, it is going to be the Rillaboom going for the spore there. And will this be high horsepower into the Rillaboom? If it is, it's going to go down. Okay, high horsepower comes out into the Zamazenta Protect. And Rillaboom will take its first turn to sleep. Switch Room is also ending here for Bryce as we get the HP recovery done on all ends of the field. Bryce's objective right now is to get Trick Room back up again, or else the Zamazenta will just run rampant again with that body press that it's been able to set up. And here comes a Rage Powder coming in from Bryce's Amoonguss, and this will redirect all attacks to that Amoonguss and makes that focus as it's holding. It will be able to survive all the hits necessary, and there's that big burst hit. Rillaboom wakes up this turn and does get the U-turn off, so Amoonguss is going to be down to 50% health, and now Abby gets an option to pivot. But what's the pivot? Oh, she used the pivot here for Abby, and I gotta wonder if this is safe because you know she used the fastest thing in play right now, or at least the second fastest, and now Trick Room is set up once again from Bryce. This Calyrex looks ready to at least knock out the Chi-Yu, but I don't know if it's anywhere in range of that Zamazenta getting knocked out. That is getting more and more health recovery. Spore is up again as well because with how you do that. And now that you do that, you're kind of just in a weird spot where Zamazenta's pretty much the Spore Magnet because this Chi-Yu's... Oh no, it is not. So who does Among Us Spore here? If it spores the Chi-Yu, which I think is a safer target because of the choice specs it's holding, you got a crippled fish here. Instead, Spore goes into the protect of the Zamazenta. Calyrex does have a free turn to go for a high Spore power into this Chi-Yu, and it will knock it out. There's the attack boost from the Calyrex is chilling Nay, and we're just counting down the turns of Grassy Terrain as just Zamazenta's getting more HP back, but Calyrex is getting stronger and stronger with every KO that it's been able to take here. Rillaboom comes out for Bryce. I mean, from Abigail. Spore looks pretty free on the Zamazenta here, and I believe now you just let loose those high horsepowers here, but instead we're seeing Protect come out from this Calyrex here and Danger to Fake Out. It just goes into the Amoonguss here, so this is another heavy slam coming out from this Zamazenta. No, it's a body press, and it's into the Calyrex. More HP recovery comes in here. Grassy Terrain's now gone, and that's a permanent Grassy Terrain being gone because that Rillaboom now has no switching since Abigail lost both of her Gastrodon and Chi-Yu earlier in this battle. So it's up to Rillaboom and Zamazenta to finish out the job here. Abigail does go over to Protect on the Zamazenta to stall out this Trick Room best they can. Spore into the Zamazenta again, just goes for into the Protect. Do we see high horsepower into this Rillaboom? I think that has to be deployed, and it is going to be deployed. Down goes Rillaboom, and now this Calyrex has matched this Zamazenta stats for boost, because now you're a +3 attack against the +3 defense that Zamazenta's already got. And you're still dealing with a 1v free situation because Bryce has only lost one Pokemon, and that was the Farigiraf. Zamazenta tries to go for the double protect there, but unfortunately cannot get out of this Trick Room. And here's Spore coming out into the Zamazenta here. It will just fall asleep right now. And here comes the high horsepower at neutral power. It is not enough to knock out the Zamazenta, but the next one will. Trick Room goes out of play here, but I think this is game over for Abby, unless, of course, the Zamazenta wakes up, and it does not wake up right now. And here comes the high horsepower, and Bryce on gonna win game number 1 here in this grand final set. Bryce is now 1 game away from winning Gym Challenge number 30 here with that Calyrex Ice Rider Trick Room team, and if he's able to do that, he'll show the power of the ever so consistent Calyrex Ice Rider, as it is probably the most popular restricted right now of Regulation G, and the more popular it gets, the more it's probably going to get counterplayed into this meta game, because when you play into this meta, you have to be able to be ready for as many as you can, but you need to be able to at least deal with the common threats, which look to be right now Calyrex Ice Rider and Zamazenta. And here we go with game number 2 here in the team preview. Bryce, once again with the team of Farigiraf, Amoonguss, Raging Bolt, Urshifu, Rapid Strike, Calyrex, Ice Rider, and the Incineroar. While Abigail's going to have the Zamazenta, Rillaboom, Gastrodon, Chi-Yu, Whimsicott, and Goldengo. I don't really see a scenario where Goldengo comes out here. Maybe the Whimsicott comes in here to potentially encore things into oblivion, but we have seen the threat of encore be a problem for a lot of these matchups, although Armor Tail is able to block that entirely. But what can Abby do in this scenario? Because you clearly had the right game plan. It's just executed not the greatest, because a couple of protect calls that did not go into your favor. And because the protect didn't go in your favor, you pretty much lost momentum early on. And we're going to get into game number 2 of this grand final set between Bryce and Abigail. What's going to be the lead into game number 2 here? It's going to be Zamazenta Goldengo coming out from Abigail. That's an interesting pick. And we're going to see Amoonguss Calyrex come out from Bryce. There is the argument of tricking the Calyrex into that choice scarf that Golden Gill's holding, which wouldn't be bad right now, because if you could trick Calyrex into losing that clear amulet and put it into a situation where it's probably gonna have to be choice locked into something, it's not gonna be looking great. But conversely, you can't let it fire off and make it rain into that slot. Amoongu's gonna switch out in this scenario. We're gonna see Raging Bolt come into play for Bryce. And Bryce is also going to Terra right now. This will be the Calyrex of Fire. Here comes the Calyrex Terra. And here we are going to have this Calyrex Terra into the Fire typing, which means it will be immune to that Make It Rain. But here's the trick into the Calyrex. It's going to give it that Choice Scarf that it so does not want to have right now, because it wants to be able to use that trick into its advantage. Golden Gill's going to get that clear amulet, and here's the Iron Defense onto the Zamazenta, getting another defense boost by 2, so it's going to be a +3 now. Calyrex, that's Trick Room, but will it be locked? No, it is locked in the Trick Room here, as we see on the screen here, and now that the Calyrex is pretty much locked down from this position, I think this Golden Gill might actually be in a very good spot, and so will the Zamazenta, now that it can be able to use that body press to its advantage against this Raging Bolt, which fortunately might not do so much damage because of that Thunderclap not being like the best damage output in the field right now. We're going to see the Calyrex switch out, obviously, into this Farigiraf. Hopefully to blink a Shadow Ball heading this way, but I don't think it'll be Shadow Ball. First of all, a Volt Switch comes out from this Raging Bolt into this Zamazenta here from Abigail. And Bryce now has a free swap in here, and it looks to be the Amoongus coming in, and it will be the Amoongus to potentially tank a body press at +3. Abigail will still put the Shadow Ball into the Raging Bolt slot, so it will break the Focus Sash that it has. And his body press doubles into the Raging Bolt. Not enough for the knockout quite yet. A little bit of a tricky scenario for Bryce, because you could protect here to make sure that you don't lose this Amoongus here. You could just sport his Zamazenta to make sure it's rendered useless right now for a couple turns, but Golden Gill can just go ahead and click Make It Rain. If he clicks Make It Rain, it probably will knock out the Amoongus. It might not do so much damage towards the Farigiraf. Either way, Farigiraf Amoongus gonna switch out for that Calyrex right now, so to make sure it resists that Make It Rain with that fire typing that it now possesses. Zamazenta protects in fear of that Spore, which is warranted in this situation here. Farigiraf goes for the Psychic into the Zamazenta here to make sure it doesn't take any chip damage against the play that Bryce wanted to go for. Shadow Ball once again goes into this Calyrex. It's doing decent damage. It does not get a special defense drop even with the Choice Scarf it's now holding. And here we go, another turn comes in here. Farigiraf gets off the Psychic into the Zamazenta +3 defense. It will get under 50% HP. Here comes the Glacial Lance now. It's probably only doing so much damage to either of these Pokemon. Yeah, it's not doing a whole lot to either of these Pokemon. Another critical hit on the Zamazenta, importantly enough. Another Shadow Ball lands onto this Calyrex. A critical hit back, and Body Press will finish it off. Which means Trick Room is no longer going to be a threat right now against Abigail. As we're going to see the Raging Bolt come into play now for Bryce. This Golden Ghost isn't hitting the Shadow Ball button and everything. This time isn't the turn to go for Make It Rain. The Farigiraf isn't exactly in the spot to do that right now. But it's like if Abigail... This is Abigail's game to lose right now. This Golden Ghost trick was really underestimated on my part, and now that's just going to allow this Golden Ghost to just wreak havoc on a lot of Bryce's team, as he really didn't have any answers for the Golden Ghost trick, as it locked the Golden Ghost, the Calyrex in the Trick Room, meaning I had to switch out immediately there. Zamazenta obviously going to protect to make sure it doesn't get double targeted by the Raging Bolt plus Farigiraf here. Farigiraf goes to Psychic into the Zamazenta. And what will the Raging Bolt do here? It's going to Volt Switch onto the Golden Go slot. So in comes the Amoonguss. That's a lot of damage from that Raging Bolt. And in comes the Amoonguss again. But will this be a Shadow Ball into that slot? It's going to be another trick into this Amoonguss. So now he's going to get the Focus Sash that the Amoonguss is holding and swap it with the Clear Amulet for the Golden Go. Trick Room also ends in this spot, so and a little bit of a weird spot if I had to say for the Zamazenta, because this could just be an easy Rage Powder plus Trick Room for Bryce, and that just leaves your Raging Bolt able to wreak havoc on a lot of Abigail's team. Oh, we're seeing the great Terra here from Abigail as Terra Grass comes out to make sure you ignore that Rage Powder entirely. As it was going to be the Rage Powder coming in here. I don't know if Bryce was fully expecting that coming out on this turn. Here comes Body Press into this Farigiraf. It is enough for the one-hit knockout at +3 defense. No more Trick Room for the rest of the game. Golden Go has a free turn to do what it wants here. It's going to be to make it rain. Will this knock out the Amoonguss? The answer is yes. And now it's a 4v, that's actually a 4v2 between this Golden Go, Zamazenta, and then the Raging Bolt that we know Bryce has, and we have not seen the rest of Abigail's Pokemon. Zamazenta goes for another Body Press here at +3 defense. Not enough for a one-hit knockout, but the Shadow Ball will finish it off. We are heading to a game 3, ladies and gentlemen, between Abigail Watson and Bryce Ong. We have game 3. Ladies and gentlemen, repeat, we have game 3. It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. We have a game 3 to decide our Gym Challenge 30 champion. Our first winner of Regulation G heading into our LA Regionals countdown, as it was now 2 weeks away, ladies and gentlemen. The teams, once again, for this best of 3 here, we have our game 3 finale of Gym Challenge 30. We have Farigiraf, Amoonguss, Raging Bolt, Urshifu Rapid Strike, Calyrex, and Incineroar for Bryce. And for Abby, we have Zamazenta, Rillaboom, Gastrodon, Chi-Yu, Whimsicott, and the Golden Go. I wonder who's going to end up winning the set, because both of these players are ever deserving of winning the set and the championship. A good amount of prize money on the line here for both of these players, and potentially world's points as we are getting near closer to the final event of the NA season, which will be ending at the North American International Championships in New Orleans, Louisiana. We are still loading on for game number 3 here as we're looking to find out who's going to be our Gym Challenge 30 champion. Both these players have played their hearts out on this tournament. Abigail had to play through a mirror match just to get where she is against Josh Dank in the semifinals, and now we're getting into grand finals. We're heading into a final game 3. And here we go, final game of Gym Challenge 30. This is the final game. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, sorry for the repetition. Here we go, game number 3 is going to be Zamazenta Golden Go lead once again for this ever Abigail. It's going to be Amoonguss and Calyrex this time around for Bryce. And this really just means that this Golden Go can't really go for the trick safely against this Amoonguss here if it chooses to go for the Rage Powder. If it doesn't go for the Rage Powder, you can trick it again and then potentially stop the Trick Room. But I think Bryce is smarter enough to not go for the Trick Room immediately the second time around, now that he knows about that trick here. Bryce is going to go ahead and tear their Calyrex into fire. turn plays out like this. Trick once again goes into this Calyrex Ice Rider. Did it go for the Trick Room again? If it did, that's great. If it didn't, you just gave Calyrex a much needed speed boost against this Zamazenta and this Golden Go. We're going to see Zamazenta for Abigail go for that Iron Defense, get it up to +3 defense. Calyrex did not go for Trick Room. High horsepower, not enough to one-hit knockout, but it will get spored into the Zamazenta. Okay, what's the next move here for both these trainers? Abigail is able to hold on to the Golden Go for a little longer, but what could be the switch in for this Golden Go? Because that's probably Glacial Lance range for most of what Abigail has to offer. You know, 2 grass types, resist, neutrality, and it's just like the Amoonguss kind of is just playing a role keeper here, because you could just spore the Golden Go slot and make sure if you catch it is switching out, or you can switch out the Amoonguss for a later turn, as you now are locked into high horsepower here if you're Bryce. And that brings in the Raging Bolt for this turn. Zamazenta will take that first mandatory turn of sleep that it's going to have to take. Golden Go has Power Gem, so it is able to attack this Calyrex for super effective damage, but it's not doing a whole lot. And high horsepower at +3 defense, not doing so much damage to Zamazenta. And we're doing the same thing again for Bryce, and I had to wonder if this Golden Go has what it takes to knock out this Calyrex before things get haywire for Bryce, because if Bryce allows this Zamazenta to wake up and do damage with that +3 body press, it's going to prove disastrous. Is Abby going to go ahead and Terra whatever Pokemon it is they want to Terra? It's going to be the Zamazenta. It's going to Terra to that grass type. It's going to resist not only the Raging Bolt's electric type attacks, but it's going to resist that high horsepower now that you know the Calyrex is locked into that attack. And it will take a second turn of sleep, unfortunately, as that's 2 turns. It's going to have to be taken to do nothing here, as Power Gem lands on the Calyrex once again. Not enough for the knockout, but third one will take it. Zamazenta going to take that high horsepower like it's nobody's business. Volt Switch also going to do basically no damage, but it allows Raging Bolt to switch out. Bryce has opened up a slot to do what it wants. Here comes for Regraph now from Bryce, and this will stop most priority coming in from this for Regraph. But I think if Abigail can wake up with the Zamazenta this turn, then body press into the Regraph, that means it's game over. Oh, Zamazenta takes a third turn of sleep, unfortunately, meaning this Golden Go will be able to knock out the Calyrex here, but that just leaves a bitter taste, because now this Regraph is Trick Room right now. And there's the Trick Room coming out, so that leaves the Raging Bolt and the Amoonguss being able to be faster than the Zamazenta. And what's your win condition here? If you're the Amoonguss, you can Pollen Puff the Zamazenta here for super effective damage. This Golden Go is also going to be able to go down this turn because it's at very low HP, but that could just leave the door open for a Protect to come out, and then you're able to bring in something like that Gastrodon to deal with something like that with that Amoonguss here. Instead, we just see Pollen Puff straight to go into the Zamazenta, not doing enough damage right now. Psychic will finish out the Golden Go here. What did the Zamazenta go for here? Because they will be able to wake up this turn. And Zamazenta will confirm to wake up here. Body Press goes into this for Regraph. It is enough for a one-hit knockout here, so it's in a 2v3 situation for Bryce. Bryce will have Amoonguss and Raging Bolt against Zamazenta and 2 other Pokemon for Abigail. We're going to find out one of them right now. What will the other Pokemon be, though? Raging Bolt takes his place on the field. Gastrodon comes in for Bryce. And, oh, that is a really risky move to go here, Bryce. If you go for the Dragon Meteor, if it doesn't knock out any Pokemon right now, you're going to be left at a -2 special attack Raging Bolt. That's probably not going to be doing a whole lot of damage for the rest of the battle and for the rest of the series, because Zamazenta just has a safe Protect to go for here. So it is Draco Meteor and Pollen Puff into that slot. It's probably not going to be doing a whole lot of accomplishment here. Spore lands onto this Gastrodon, so it will be doing a little damage. As of right now, do we see Draco Meteor come out into the Zamazenta, or do it go into this Gastrodon slot? Draco Meteor Misses the Gastrodon! It didn't even go for the Zamazenta here. It's gonna miss the Gastrodon, so it is gonna lose out on a turn of damage. Here comes Pollen Puff onto the Zamazenta. Oh, that's not enough for the knockout quite yet. With a critical hit. Was it a sequential hit? Oh, Gastrodon gets a one-turn wake up here. Gets a yawn off onto this Raging Bolt. What does the Raging Bolt do here? Did it Draco Meteor Zamazenta? Yes, it does. And down it goes. The big heavy hitter from Abigail is now gone. Ooh, down it goes. And Chi-Yu is the last Pokemon for Abigail. We're down to our final 2 Pokemon here in this set. We will have Raging Bolt and Amoonguss versus Gastrodon and Chi-Yu, but Raging Bolt, importantly, is that -2 special attack from an earlier Draco Meteor. It landed onto the Zamazenta, but Chi-Yu can get spored here, and that's what's going to be happening. But does that leave a turn for Amoonguss to get hit with a yawn here from this Gastrodon? No, it's just going to be an Earth Power. That will do decent damage to it, thanks to the Beads of Ruin. Draco Meteor lands on this Chi-Yu. That's a critical hit! That's a critical hit! That's a really important one, and Chi-Yu goes down. Gastrodon now has to go through a 1-on-2 phase where it could get put to sleep here. Trick Room does end, though. So, yeah, I think there is a way out for Abigail, but it's going to take a lot of time. You first need to get a yawn off onto this Amoonguss and make sure it goes to sleep soon. But that does mean you're getting put to sleep against this Raging Bolt, which is now at -4 special attack. And here's Raging Bolt's first turn of sleep that it has to take with that yawn. Another Earth Power lands on his Amoonguss. That's decent damage. 2 more will finish it off, but here comes the Spore. And now we played the Spore minigame of how fast can you wake up? Because if this Gastrodon does not wake up in time, Bryce is going to be your Gym Challenge 30 champion. Raging Bolt will take a second turn of sleep here. And this is going to go down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Gastrodon now will take its first turn of sleep here. Amoonguss goes for the Pollen Puff. How much damage will this do? Does a decent amount of damage now that Beats of Ruin is gone. Gastrodon still has the Citrus Berry intact. That's important to note. And Raging Bolt will take it full 3 turns of sleep. So it will wake up on the next turn. Gastrodon takes a second turn of sleep here. I can't really think here. Here's Pollen Puff coming into this Gastrodon. That's a decent amount of damage once again, ladies and gentlemen. I think it needs a bit more power. And here comes the power as Raging Bolt's going to wake up this turn with the Draco Meteor. How much damage is it doing at -4? Not a lot. And now you're down to your -6 special attack, meaning it's weak. And here comes Earth Power into this Gastrodon. From this Amoonguss, not enough for the knockout. Does it get spored again? No, it's a Pollen Puff. Oh, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. That's a big deal. Here goes the Citrus Berry recovery as well from this Gastrodon. This Gastrodon, if he goes for another Earth Power into this Amoonguss, I think this might be game over, but we've seen the critical hit happen from this Raging Bolt. If it happens again, then Bryce is your winner. Conversely, you can just protect and make sure that you get a turn to get a critical hit off the Draco Meteor, and that's what's going to be happening here with this protect from the Amoonguss. Here's Draco Meteor from this Raging Bolt. It connects. No critical hit. It's doing minimal damage. Earth Power into the protect. It cannot do that again unless you want to take a chance on that 1 in 3 chance. In that 1 in 3 that it could be getting here. It does not get it there, unfortunately. And this Earth Power connects onto this Gastrodon. Draco Meteor misses again. If this Earth Power lands on this Amoonguss, it will knock it out. And now it's a 1-on-1 situation between Gastrodon and Raging Bolt. This is going to be a big finish here, ladies and gentlemen. Can Draco Meteor critical hit? How much damage? Oh, it misses again! Draco Meteor is coming back to bite Bryce in the back. Yawn comes out. Meanie Protect's going to happen the next turn. You have very much free turns. And, oh no, that's one more Draco Meteor. If that goes away, the game is over. I didn't even realize that. If Draco Meteor has one more PP left, as we see on the screen, if it's gone, the game is over. And I think the game is pretty much over because Abigail does have to protect to go for here, and that means Yawn's going to successfully put the Raging Bolt to sleep. That was the Draco Meteor. No, that was just a Thunderbolt coming out from this Raging Bolt. Here comes the first turn of sleep here. Abigail can taste victory right in her grasp. Here's the first Earth Power against this Assault Vest Raging Bolt. There's going to be 3 of them necessary to take it out. Bryce's only hope is a Wake Up plus a Draco Meteor critical hit. The second turn of sleep comes out. Here's another Earth Power. Then, okay, I don't know if the third one will take it out actually, now that Calc's come in. Can Raging Bolt wake up? Can Raging Bolt wake up this turn? No, it cannot. Gastrodon has a chance to confirm victory for Abigail. It comes out. It's not enough for the knockout. One more will do it. So Bryce, this game comes down to a Draco Meteor crit. This game comes down to a Draco Meteor crit. Does it get it? It gets a connection. Does it get the critical hit? It does not. And Abigail Watson is gonna win Gym Challenge 30. After being beaten by Zhengxi Shu in an earlier set in this season, Abigail Watson has finally got the redemption and is able to win Gym Challenge number 30, ladies and gentlemen. What a win for Abigail Watson. And that's going to conclude Gym Challenge number 30 for you, ladies and gentlemen. This has been Jesus Cornell. This has been Miraidon. We've seen the Zamazenta team do so much work against Andrew Ding. We've seen it do so much work against Bryce Ong, as we've seen, and it probably will be a fearsome opponent in all of your regional travel. So without further ado, be prepared for Zamazenta, or you're going to be feeling sorry that I did not warn you.